Do we know if the guy that's doing Kale Walker, if he's going to be here? Or is
Uh,
that an old character?
yeah, he was an old character that played with us before, Kale. Love to have him back. I don't know if you're out there listening or not, Godslayer, but we'd love to have you back if you want to come back and play with us. But he didn't respond when I kind of put the call out to play again, so he's just kind of sitting there right now. But I've left him in there.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's start with character introductions. We'll go Becca, then Heather, then Paul, because that's the order that you're at on my screen. And then I'll talk a little bit about the setting and what happened in that last session about a year ago before we get started with tonight's session. So, Becca, go ahead, tell us a little bit about Echo.
My goodness, it has been so long since I looked at her character. Um, so Echo is a changeling that's smaller than the average human, but not like too small. I thought, how tall did we say she was? Like 4.5 feet, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's a monster hunter that was banished from the Never Never. I think that's what I remember. And so now she just kind of hunts monsters in the regular world. I forget what it's called. So her biggest issue is that she doesn't really think about what she does. She just kind of goes for it. So if she sees something that she wants to kill or see something she wants to grab, she'll just do it and not think, oh, that might be dangerous. Maybe I shouldn't. So that's her biggest issue. And yeah, I can't think of a lot more to do. I'll try to come up with something better. But yeah, I didn't make much of a story for her, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so Echo's got some aspects, though. Young changeling in a big world, which it kind of has to do with her not really understanding how the world works and getting into trouble.
Yeah.
And is that dangerous? Is the trouble aspect? And those are important because you can use those to power, improve your abilities when you make rolls. And
Right.
so you always want to keep those in mind. And disgraced in the summer court isn't a great aspect, but you might could find some positive things to do with that one as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Heather, tell us a little bit about Colton.
Okay, so Colton Ryder was originally trained in like wilderness search and rescue. He was also had the ability to be a federal law enforcement officer. Basically patrolled a section of mountains outside of Las Vegas, looking for, people that tend to wander off and get lost, get hurt, or, he had the ability to like arrest drug runners and find meth labs and stuff like that. So that was kind of his job. And then his whole team got attacked one time with monsters of some kind. He still doesn't to this day know what kind of monsters they were, but they left him alive and killed everybody else. And when he was questioned, they pretty much thought he was going crazy because, the rest of his team was dead. He was alive and he was blaming it on monsters. So he was basically fired, is disgraced kind of thing. So he's wandered around and inevitably he wound up in San Antonio. Yeah.
Yes.
So wound up there, someone, he managed to get some training, figured out that this really isn't, he's not seeing things. So now he's got the ability to purchase bespelled bullets because he's really good with guns. He's decided that this is the easiest way to kill these things. So these bullets actually have a magic spell on it that basically dispels a shield when it hits it. and then the person or beast is actually killed with the bullet once it passes through that creature's like shield if they have one. So basically, his aspects are one riot, one sniper, I mean ranger. That's his high concept. His trouble is a disgraced ex-federal officer, and then like other aspects are, we come in peace, shoot to kill, and ghouls are us type thing. So he is a pure mortal, but he has the ability to see the arcane. He has the ability to see these monsters, so he's a monster hunter.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about the ghouls are us aspect. What's going on with that?
Oh God, you would make me ask me. Try to remember that.
Okay, that's all right. I know I don't put you on the spot. You
basically it's ghouls are what had killed his team, and but he's not absolutely 100% sure. But it seems like that's who he's going after now, is just anything that looks like what had killed his team. So that's kind of that whole, ghouls are us.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like the way you put it. I just want to make sure I kind of understood how it worked.
Right. He's kind of got I would say maybe like a vendetta. He's out for vengeance, I guess you would say. So.
Right. And then we come in peace, shoot to kill. That kind of sounds like we'll try to resolve this peacefully, but I'm fine.
I'm okay shooting you.
Yeah. Right. Don't push.
He tries not to. Yeah, and that's part of that was because he's a pure mortal. He manages to kind of he's never met anybody from the White Court, so he manages to kind of skirt around that whole White Court issue with the fact that the only spell that he actually uses, I guess would be the best way, is what's on the bullet. And then once it passes through that shield, it's just a physical bullet that hits whatever creature. So he manages to kind of skirt around that, not use magic to kill.
Right.
And that's kind of that part of that, if I remember correctly, is kind of part of that come in peace, shoot to kill type thing. So, but yes, he'd rather try to talk out of it, but inevitably he's like, yeah, it always comes to violence.
Yeah. It always does in this setting.
Of course.
All right. So Paul, tell us about John.
John, to the outside world, is the small business owner. He's a suburbanite, wife, kids, dog, white picket fence in suburban San Antonio. Has a import business where he brings in, cheap trinkets from Mexico and sells them to tourists and such. But that's his front persona. What he is, though, is a smuggler. He brings in people, drugs, whatever he can from Mexico, and gets it across the border and distributes it around San Antonio. He's got a network in Mexico that kind of gives him that sort of stuff. He doesn't go with the hard stuff. He's not into like cocaine. He's more just a light smuggler and like helping people get across the border, marijuana, that sort of thing. One time though, while he was helping some people family get across the border, he got waylaid by a couple of Red Court vampires, and it went badly. And just before he was killed, Zachariah Morris appeared out of nowhere and dealt with the vampires quite handily. And it seems that Zachariah had been watching John for a while and was looking for, as the Red Court War was expanding, getting more violent, let's say, was looking for more mundane ways to get people out of Mexico. Without spoiling anything, they talk about the Red Court owns Mexico, South America, and such, and it's hard the life is worse than anyone imagines down there. Whole cities, or whole towns being wiped out and such. So I went with John's high concept is the clued-in smuggler. He was working with Zachariah for a while. He gets the ways. He understands, like it's a crazy way to travel, but he also need, a way isn't a site-to-site transport. It's site A to site slightly C, and so you got to get to B somehow, mundanely. So that's where John's sort of expertise comes in. So I did clued-in smuggler for my high concept. My trouble is that I went with, I couldn't just leave them to the monsters. Mostly John has he's justified the smuggling and the certainly the people smuggling as getting people to a better life. He's sort of the criminal with a conscience would be the best way. So that's how I justified that. But his trouble is he couldn't just leave him to the monsters. Like he couldn't. It's just whatever it takes, he'll get them out, sort of deal. Other aspects are it's us against them. Seeing the vampire change right in front of him kind of really affected him, and he's shocked that there's other things out there that he has to deal with, And the year or so that he was working with Zachariah, he liked the fact that he was doing good work. Like he wasn't just a criminal, he was doing something good. So to the dual nature of John, the criminal has two core stunts. One is rep and one is criminal favors. And I talked with Matt, and rep is really your general reputation on being able to influence people and being like, hi, I'm Marcone and I'm a big bad guy. But John has tried to keep everything, that part of his life, separate from his real life or his family life. So we changed rep to old tricks, and old tricks is really Zachariah teaching him ways of dealing with the supernatural.
Okay. All right, excellent. And we've had Jason join us there. He's trying to figure out how to get connected right now.
Just so everyone knows, I've never played Dresden Accelerated. I do role play other games, and on top of it, this is my absolutely first time using Roll20 and using a webcam. So okay. Hey, this is all a whole bunch of firsts there.
Okay, so that's all right. Just let us know. We'll take it slow and easy, and give everybody a chance to kind of. If you run into issues, though, don't be afraid to speak up or put something in chat, and we can help with that. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to try to help Jason out a little bit here.
And I'm in Canada, just so you know, too.
Yay, Canada.
Yay.
I'm from the middle of the United States.
Yeah, we are actually from Texas. That's how we don't live in or near San Antonio, but that's just kind of what I ended up picking as what I think is the most compelling setting in Texas for a lot of reasons.
San Antonio is a weird place. Just regular life, it's just.
I found when I ran a Dresden Files with my local group, everywhere is weird. Like you could find there was in the sleepy little town that I'm in, you can find a ghost story, half a block away. Like so weird when you start digging how much weirdness is actually out there.
Yeah.
And if it isn't there, you can make it up. Like we turned the,
exactly.
the nuclear power plant that's on the lake into a demonic power plant, and it was just interesting that way.
Yeah. When I ran a Dresden game, I set it in Omaha, which is where I'm currently residing, and there's some weird stuff in Omaha. I mean, we've got big telecommunications hub here. We've got the Union Pacific headquarters here, all of that. It's just there's some other stuff. We've had Underground Railroad here from way back when. Just there's a bunch of ghost stories and weird stuff, so I really kind of played on that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we were really shocked when we learned things like local lore of the Indian tribes in the area, and it's amazing what just a little bit of research, and it's not a hard research, how much you can get for that kind of interesting work. The other one, there's a podcast called Lore. I don't know if anyone listens to it. Hilarious, just amazing stuff. This guy really researches his stuff. Really interesting backstories and on real life lore,
You said, is it called War or Lore?
Lore, Lore.
Okay.
It's a really interesting podcast. He's I think he has a great voice. My wife hates him, but the show's interesting.
Yeah, Jason's having some technical issues. Yeah, I would just kind of launch into talking about the setting and everything right now, except that I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to multitask while I'm trying to step him through all this.
Yeah, that's fine. Take your time.
So now, Paul, you GM?
I don't GM. I used to when I was younger. And the Dresden Files was mostly because I was really interested, really big into the Dresden Files. So I was the one, and like I said, I have a signed copy of the RPG. So I was really big into it. I don't GM a lot. I'm kind of I'm scatterbrained.
Say what?
I'm a bit scatterbrained.
Oh.
And it's hard. I also, I work 50 hours a week. I'm my full-time job is I'm a chef.
Oh, wow.
So I'm used to making decisions all the time and doing that sort of thing. So GMing is very chef-like, to be honest with you. And so so lately it's nice to play rather than chef.
Yeah. Well, I was just asking because, and I don't know, Matt can probably jump in here if he wants. I ran my last. God, my camera keeps zooming in and out. I ran my last Firefly game for basically the season on Sunday, and the team that I have is fantastic. However, they really got me as a GM. They basically spaced one of the people that we had basically as a prisoner on the ship, and they decided they needed to get rid of him, and they decided to space him. And I was like, oh my God, how do I deal with this? So, it was hilarious. These guys were
the best
awesome.
laid plans, right?
Oh yeah. Well, hell, they even had gone to the dock on the ship and said, "Hey, can you give us something to give him a shot so we can basically euthanize him, peacefully, no pain." And yeah, unfortunately, they didn't even get a chance to use it.
Wow.
Yeah, the security officer, the guy had kind of broken loose, and you know, he went to take a swing at her with something from the room, and when he missed, she punched him, and she had such an extraordinary success that basically he fell backwards, hit his head on something, knocked himself out. And so then they just decided, well, he's bleeding all over the rug. We're going to roll him up in the rug and stuff him in the airlock that way. Like, you guys are hilarious. So then they were like, hey, it's the best way of getting rid of a problem. Okay. Oh, brother.
So he can hear us
awesome.
now, but
Yay!
we still can't hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been able, everybody who's had problems, I've been able to walk them through and get it fixed so far with this new one. So this, and he's a roll 20. He says he does roll 20 all the time. Sources available after connecting to another player. I'm not sure what that means, Jason. Yeah.
Well, I use Google Chrome. I don't know what he used originally.
He said he started out in Chrome and then he switched over to Firefox. And
maybe just rebooting his computer completely.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I had my wife set this up, so I have no idea. I gotta admit, she knows a hell of a lot more than I do.
It's just she's the techie of the group, huh?
Oh yeah, I know how to turn it on and make the little guy move across the screen.
Okay, I think I'm finally starting to remember what I wanted Echo's story to be. But I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to write it down as fast as I can and the smallest amount I can so I actually remember it. But I don't know, I keep going blank. It's a problem. Also,
I just use the excuse, I've slept since then.
Yeah.
I've slept since then. I've forgotten it. I purged my brain.
I've slept since then. I feel ya.
Okay, so he's just going to keep working on it, and when we get him in, we'll kind of shoehorn him on in at that point. He's going back. He's going back to Chrome while he tries to fix it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the setting and what happened in that session about a year ago. This is San Antonio, Texas. In the real world, San Antonio is kind of the central tourist city in Texas. If you come to visit Texas, the biggest conventions and the biggest attractions, SeaWorld, for example, is located in San Antonio. Most of them are located there. There's a couple other places you might go, but probably if you're going to vacation in Texas, you're going to go to San Antonio. San Antonio is a very old city by Texas standards. It's filled with all kinds of missions, churches that have been there for well over 100 years, and a very rich kind of history. It's a mixture of Hispanic culture and Anglo culture. They both kind of come together in equal parts there. And there's a lot of celebrations and festivals that are associated with Mexico and South America. I'm trying to remember. They do one really big one in the spring, and I can't remember the name of it right now. The kind of the unique feature of San Antonio in the downtown area is something that's called the River Walk. There is this river that's been kind of diverted into a concrete that flows through downtown. It's all concrete as it goes through downtown, but it's this area that's set below street level where you can walk alongside a river. There's lots of shops. It's very colorful. There's a mall located on it, a lot of mom and pop type places, but also a few of the bigger kind of chain stores that are located on it as well. And it's kind of the big, aside from the Alamo, it's probably the biggest thing that it's known for. The Alamo is maybe the most recognizable landmark in Texas. It's a place where a group of freedom fighters held off Santa Anna's army for a number of days before they were finally defeated. But as I was told when I learned Texas history in school, that's what enabled the Texans to kind of round up an army and prepare to kind of face off against them. That delay that was involved in fighting this battle at the Alamo, because of how long they managed just to hold off this assault from this hugely superior force. So a lot of stories behind that, and that's kind of what San Antonio is in the real world. Now, in the Dresden world that you're playing in, San Antonio is also, there he is. We can see you, Jason.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you too.
Yes, we can hear you too.
Yes. It was set up for the gods only know, since my last Pathfinder game, which was Wednesday. Between Wednesday and today, somehow Chrome was set up to block microphone and video.
It's gremlins.
Yeah, it really is. Anyway, I apologize. I'm here. I'm ready.
And now Becca's gone.
Damned if you do and damned if you
swear
don't.
I didn't do it.
I'm going to hit reconnect, see if that helps.
Oh, he's back.
Yep. All right. I'll go check. She's in the same house as me, so I'll go check on her here in a minute if she doesn't come back. Okay. So, Jason, have you got a character ready?
I have a character mostly ready.
Okay.
I had trouble I've read through the manuals and everything else, but the actual practice of sitting down and creating a character, the problem that I had was coming up with, figuring out my powers and stuff.
Okay.
So do you have a way that I can send you the character sheet real quick?
Yeah, you can. And if you look on the characters tab, you've got a blank character sheet ready.
Okay.
Yeah, her internet went out. Mine did not go out. It's the same internet, but she'll be back in a second. Looks like. Yeah. So I think if we can get just get your approaches scores in, and maybe a high concept and a trouble, that'll be enough to get us started. And then, if you can multitask just a little and get some of the rest of it in, then feel free. Can you tell me what mantle, do you know what mantle you've chosen?
Mantle was the... What? Sorry.
That's all right.
I would have reached out sooner. I got sick between that and work, and we're planning a wedding, and I got overwhelmed the last couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I not Becca, but I've got another daughter that's getting married next Saturday. That's why we're playing today.
Mine's not quite that soon. So I've got the template is wizard. My high concept aspect is guardian of the voiceless.
Okay.
My trouble aspect is he who walks alone.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's rebooting right now. And trouble is he who walks alone. Okay, I went ahead and just kicked those in for you there. And then you know what your scores are on your approaches?
What are the approaches? I used a character sheet that's like it's PDF format, allows you to fill in
Okay.
as you go, and I've got like stress, consequences, skills, aspects, stunts, and powers.
Oh, so you probably created the original Dresden Files instead of Dresden Files Accelerated character.
Crap.
That's okay.
Accelerated is easier.
We can get you set up so quick, it's unbelievable. All right, so have you got your character sheet open?
I've got the blank one in Roll20 open. Yes.
Okay, so you see where it says approaches there?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have skills or abilities. You only have something called approaches. So flair is an approach that has to do with kind of panache and charisma and flash. And then focus is an approach that has to do with being able to zero in on one thing and really concentrate on it a lot.
Okay, like a combination of discipline and concentration.
Yeah. Force is an approach that has to do with just kind of physically overwhelming things. Guile is an approach to being kind of clever and deceptive. Haste is an approach. You just do it quicker than anybody else can. Intellect is, you don't need to worry about mantle. That's not going to affect your character. So you've got flair, focus, force, guile, haste, and intellect. And I'll put into chat, you're going to assign a number to each one of those that is going to, you can assign, I'm going to give you the different possibilities here. You get 1 at good, which is +3. You get 2 at fair, which is +2. You get 2 at average, which is +2. And then you get, which is +1, I'm sorry. And then you get 1 at mediocre, which is +0. And I'm putting that in chat right now. So you can assign those any way you want among those, just based on your general character concept. And then later, if you want to go back and try to respec, that'll be fine.
Okay.
So then anytime you take an action, it'll be based on one of those approaches. And so you just declare, you're going to declare what approach you want to use. And as long as it makes sense in the context, then I'll approve that. And then you can go ahead and use that as your approach for your skill test.
Okay.
All right. And then the wizard stunts, you've got, let's see, you should have stress and indebted. And then we'll add a couple more things in for you here in a minute. And then out of game, you can go back and respec it out of game. We can go back and try to respec it a little bit. So I'm going to add a couple of conditions for you here. One is called stressed.
That's about my normal day, yes.
Okay. And one is called burned out.
Okay.
Those are unique to wizards. They allow you to power magical stunts a little bit more than just with your stress.
Okay.
All right. And we'll talk about, like, when you get down to, if you just describe for me what you want to do at some point, we'll talk about mechanically how that works when the time comes. Okay. But for now, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your character?
He's first generation Irish, English, American. So his family was born. His parents were born over there. They came over here, and then he was born. So he grew up in a household that still was very much more across the pond than over here. A very abusive household, so he left at an early age, and discovered as he went along that he was a wizard, more so than he was a vanilla mortal. Ended up living by his wits, so he was not he wasn't living on the streets, but he was one step away from being on the streets at any moment. So he ended up making friends with the homeless more than anyone else, hence the guardian of the voiceless high concept.
Okay.
He particularly one brother and sister, that young kids that were living homeless, and they ended almost like Sherlock Holmes's, Baker Street Irregulars, all the homeless kids, that ran around London as being, his eyes and ears. These kind of these homeless, street people kind of became Teddy's eyes and ears, and he did what he could to protect them. But at one point, the Red Court flunkies came through. He got his ass kicked because he was, he's still very young and very new to all of this, and he couldn't protect them. So hence the trouble of he who walks alone.
Okay. All right. So kind of going back for a second now, talking about the setting. This is, as I mentioned below, this setting is in San Antonio, Texas.
Right.
San Antonio is a tourist's. It has a lot of tourism that's involved in it, partly because of the Alamo, and partly because of some other features that they've got there. From a supernatural standpoint, San Antonio is important because it's the home of the largest ley line in North America. This thing runs straight to and out of the Alamo. Just because of the kind of remarkable events that occurred there in history. And what this does is it creates a lot of magical energy that just attracts weird things to San Antonio all the time. Sometimes not necessarily bad, but there's just a lot of curiosity, and there are a lot of pathways that go in and out of the Never Never. That are near downtown, and so it's just a constant source of attention from the supernatural world. Up until about a year ago, the city was protected by a warden whose name was Zachary Smith, and Zachary was. I said Smith. I think it's actually Zachary Taylor. Give me just a second here.
Isn't it Morris?
Zachary Morris, thank you. And he got involved in a war with the Red Court and has gone missing. And in its wake, there's a group of people that you all represent who have become kind of the defenders of the city, of the area. It's called the Texas Hill Country in and around San Antonio. So I played about a year ago with a group that included Heather and Becca. Hopefully Becca will join us back here in a minute. I'm going to go check on her. Oh, looks like she's coming back now. And it essentially what happened in this episode was that oh, there she is.
Yep, here I am. I'm sorry, my computer needed to be reset, and then it needed to update, and just all the things.
All right. So there was a sorcerer in town that by the name of Charles Rosenthal, who had been defeated by Zachary some time back. His nickname is Lone Star, and had been defeated by him some time back and had gone absolutely insane. He had gone bonkers. and institutionalized. They thought he was completely harmless. But then all of a sudden he checked out, his daughter checked him out of his facility where he was located. And things started happening around town that were similar to things that he had been up to before. And there was concern that maybe he had come back, somehow figured out a way to come back from this insanity and from this complete mental collapse that occurred after he confronted Lone Star. But it turns out that he had not, that it was his daughter, Miranda, who had taken up his mantle, so to speak. And the group discovered she turned out to be equally, if not even more powerful than he was, when she was able to channel his psychic energy along with her own to work her magic. The group did manage to confront her, to get, but Miranda escaped, and the group wasn't able to capture her. She's still on the loose somewhere in the city. But the sorcerer's been reinstitutionalized and still seems to be okay right now. And that's kind of a recap of what happened. So that's kind of one issue that's boiling in the city, kind of as we pick up this week. So our adventure tonight actually begins on a Sunday morning. All of you up to this point have been at home and you have been in bed, but in the middle of the night at about 2 a.m. you were woken up by a phone call or some other kind of communication that comes from your friend Lydia, who owns a store that's called the Apothecary, that is on the Riverwalk in downtown San Antonio. She's kind of a minor practitioner of the arts, makes potions. That's kind of her specialty. And she's known within the local community kind of for that. And everybody uses her store as kind of a gathering place when you need to get together. You usually go to Lydia's store called the Apothecary. And Lydia has told each of you that there is a fairly well-known and fairly powerful wizard of the White Council whose name is Charles Lexington. And he is in town, and he's contacted her and indicated that he is in danger. And he has given her the location of an abandoned shopping strip. There's this old, long abandoned shopping strip that's located kind of not really in downtown, but away from downtown. So you've all made your way to that shopping strip, and one by one sort of show up in the parking lot.
Ooh, special fast.
And that is where we get started. This parking lot is really dark. You've come there by car or whatever other means of transportation might have brought you there. You don't immediately see anybody, but it's not easy to see much of anything or tell much of anything. Almost all the lights are busted out. There's been a lot of criminal activity. Most of the stores have been broken into over time. Busted windows, doors that don't have their latches on them any longer on many of the stores. And like I said, only one or two isolated parking lights. You don't immediately see anything as you kind of gather together and start talking to each other. What you do know is that Lexington seems to be in some kind of trouble, and this was the last place where he was known to have been to Lydia.
Okay, well, I hitched a ride from a friend and kind of show up in the the alley, or not the alley, I'm sorry, the parking lot. And I've got kind of a backpack on, but it's got a case attached to it instead. And I kind of look around, looking to find out what's going on.
I certainly draw a driving up, probably in my my truck. Leave the lights on, for sure. Because it does seem dark, and start casing the joint.
Okay. So let's go ahead. We've got two people that are looking around right now. We'll start with Colton. Let's go ahead and have Colton make a focus check, and then also since John's also looking around, John can make a focus check as well.
Okay, hang on here.
Okay, so I go into the dice roller, just so I know what I'm doing here. And what am I rolling?
All right, so you open up your character sheet, and you'll see a little symbol that looks like a die that's right beside where it says focus.
Okay.
And you click on that. There you go. All right, so you both get a 2, which on the ladder, a 2 is a fair result. 3 is good. So 2 is a fair result. You don't immediately notice that anything unusual in the area.
And we're probably both looking for totally different things, too. Because you're law and I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of see how far away do you think you're probably at? I'm probably standing over near one of the entry areas, one of the shops.
I'm certainly staying by the truck because the whole thought of breaking into somewhere.
Okay.
Checking the exits and the sight lines.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So I'm standing right out front, and I'm going to close my eyes, and rather than searching around, I don't have, our hero, Harry's method of listening, but I just want to kind of close my eyes and, see if the sounds of the street sound like what they're supposed to, or if there's anything that sounds out of place, too quiet, or not quite enough, kind of like walking through some of the alleys with my homeless friends. Sometimes you knew when there was a predator about, and sometimes, everything was okay.
Okay. All right, so yeah, go ahead and make a focus check as well. So, yeah, so I'm going to change your character sheet name to Henry.
Actually goes by Teddy.
Okay.
It's Henry Theodore Strangefellow, and he goes by Teddy because his parents just had this really odd way of naming their children.
Okay. Yeah, so Teddy is able to kind of pick up some sounds of what seem like disturbances that are coming from behind the buildings. Like there's an alleyway that's back behind the buildings, and he seems to just vaguely hear something that sounds like something's going on back there.
Excuse me.
All right, everyone that's close enough to me, I'm just gonna, kind of a, sort of voce, a stage whisper. Hey, something behind the building. I heard something, and I'm gonna start easing my way around to the left of the building, looking at the map here.
Okay, can I kind of break in here?
Yep.
Okay.
Did this lady, our contact at the apothecary, did she tell us, since she's calling us individually, that there will be other people meeting us there, or should she just say, here, go here, and see what you can find out?
She said that that a White Council, a fairly powerful wizard in the White Council named Charles Lexington,
Okay. Was saying I kind of got that, but
had contacted her and said he was in trouble, and he gave this location.
okay, right.
Are
So
you
when
referring
she-
more to like each of us individually?
Yes, like each of you individually had been called up and asked to come assemble
Right.
here.
Right, but I mean,
Do we-
is that what Heather means, though? Should she be expecting me there and myself expecting her,
Yeah, do
etc.?
we know that there's going to be other people? Because these two people I've never worked with or never seen before.
Okay, yes, you do. And yes, she did say there's going to be a couple of other people that are there, and you can trust them.
Okay. That's sorry. I just wanted to make sure of that.
Yes.
So,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, that was
That's-
a great question. I didn't think about that.
that's something Colton probably would have asked in that conversation. And yes,
Yeah.
she says they're here to help your group with what it's doing.
Okay. When I asked her, did she give me names, or she just said there'll be a couple of other individuals there?
That's all she said, is that I'm going to call a couple of other people that have volunteered
Okay.
to help.
Okay. So kind of backing up just a little bit, as he was standing by the front of the building, and he had been basically starting on one end and kind of going down the line, looking in to anything that would allow me to kind of even see interior, if a window isn't boarded up, or if, a board's kind of hanging half off, or, a door or whatever, is if he can kind of peek inside, so that when you come up, Teddy, he kind of looks you over and then kind of looks at the guy in the pickup truck, and he says, I guess you guys are the help?
Lydia called me and said to come over here. We're meeting a White Council, and that there's supposed to be some other people. I'm assuming that you're also a Lydia person.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm Colton, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Colton. Teddy.
John.
Nice to meet you. I heard something around the back of the building just now. I want to go check it out. Something just doesn't sound right back there, so I'm going around the left to the behind the all these broken buildings.
Okay. Yeah, before you do that, I'm going to go check on Becca and see if I can get her going again. It sounds like she's having some technical issues. We'll get all the gremlins ironed out, though, here in a minute, hopefully.
Okay.
Yep. So, you guys seem to be familiar with the accelerated version. When I built my character,
You're funny.
well, you seem to be more familiar with it than I am. When I was building my character through the old method,
And that
the
thing
original
takes
method.
Forever.
So I've got
the
stunts
old
and
method was
powers
basically
and
based
skills.
on, you would sit around as a group and make a character and make your characters as a group. So that was kind of what it was based on. This one allows you to just kind of come up with one without having to need input from other people.
Okay. How do things like my skills? I had empathy and driving, athletics, all this stuff, and the stunts and powers, evocation, thaumaturgy, the sight.
All that's gone, basically.
All that's gone. You
So it
have
doesn't
some
even
stunts.
translate over. It's just gone.
Yeah, it's
Well, like
Go
your
ahead.
driving skill would be he might ask you to roll focus or flair, or not focus or intellect, right? So you no longer need a driving skill. So as a spellcaster, you have to decide whether you're a focus practitioner or an actual full Harry Dresden type caster. And then from there you decide what your stunts are, and you've got core stunts that you have to take, and then you get a number of stunts to build, which takes away from your refresh, which
Okay.
means less fate points. And that's all it is. It's pretty simple in that regards.
Is there a manual for the accelerated version?
Yeah,
because I've got like every manual known to the game except for that.
yeah.
Okay.
It's available on PDF, and it's less than $20. It's not
Okay.
terribly expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. I just downloaded the PDF. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
All right, so somebody was trying to step around the other side of the building a second ago. Who was that?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. So so Teddy starts to kind of walk around the side of the building, I guess heading back in the direction of the sounds, and kind of out of the darkness, you hear some footsteps, and there's like some broken glass and some just rocks and pebbles, just kind of crunch. It's not someone that's trying to hide their presence at all, and suddenly around the corner steps a figure that's pretty quickly recognizable to you as a Black Court vampire. And she looks straight at Teddy, and she says to him, "What business do you have here, mortal? You need to turn back away."
It had to be the Black Court. It just
Well,
had to be.
I came up behind. I started following Teddy when he came around the corner, but I'm being a little bit more cautious in regards to what's going on. So,
All right.
And I'm certainly back at the truck at the outskirts of the parking lot.
you're the
And,
getaway
maybe
vehicle.
Maybe I'm reaching. I'm looking at my gun rack in the back of the truck.
Gotcha.
And hoping I put the gun there.
Oh shit! I forgot I packed to back
I
it. I gotta go home.
I got always armed if I have to, but
All right.
Yeah, I don't have firearms. Never had the money or anything to be able to produce such things. All I've got is my wizarding abilities, and my mouth. Well, I was over here. I was going to do a little bit of shopping. Noticed that the building was kind of falling down. Hey, everyone likes to loot something. Were you going for the TVs? Because I can leave the TVs alone and try to loot some stereos. As I'm doing this, I'm backing up.
And I see him backing up, and I had already kind of started trying to go backwards a little bit because I need some room to basically take the case off and open it up and pull what's inside out.
Okay. She says, "Don't underestimate me because there's only one of me and four of you.
Oh no, I would
I
never do
will
any
make
such
sure
thing
that
to
you leave."
I would never underestimate you. That would be incredibly insulting. I would never underestimate a Black Court vampire. Throwing a little bit of volume there, hoping that the people behind me can hear what's going on.
At hearing that, I certainly maybe hop up onto the back, like I'm hopping into the trunk. What's the back of a pickup truck called? The back of a pickup truck.
The bed of
The
the
bed.
truck.
I certainly hop up into the bed and use it as sort of cover, and produce. I guess I will use my always armed stunt and pull whatever, I guess a shot or a rifle from my. So I have to mark a heat to do that, I assume.
Right.
So I will mark a heat to produce my my rifle from the back of the truck and use the truck as sort of a position to support myself.
All right, and so, in the meantime, she just kind of keeps walking slowly towards you as Teddy continues to back up toward the rest of the group.
All right, so quick, out of character. Since I'm trying to, convert everything over to Accelerated, like how do powers work now for Accelerated? Like if I want to pull out my wand and, trigger a blast or fire or something.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be using your evocation power if you wanted to pull out your wand. And what you're going to do is generally you're just going to make a roll on the appropriate aspect, whatever it is that you happen to be using at the time. But you can mark a stress box if you want to get a +1 or a +2 on any one action. So you can take stress to improve whatever effect it is that you're wanting to have with it.
Okay. So this is a willful stress. This isn't being stressed by the situation. Like, hey, Black Court Vampire.
This is right, and then you have the exhausted. That'll give you a single +4, and burned out will give you a single +2.
All right. Well, I'm going to take one stress then.
Okay.
And use evocation against her.
Okay. So what kind of effect are you wanting to generate?
She's Black Court. She's dry, dusty. I want to burn her.
All right. So this is a fuego type thing.
Yes.
All right. And she is going to. So go ahead and make your roll. And we're now in combat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. The roll for this again was.
Go ahead and make a focus roll. Well, actually, I think because you're trying to do this on the fly, probably it's more. I think probably
haste.
Haste is a better measure in this case.
Great. And that's my lower die roll.
All right. So that's a 1. Plus, you get another +1 to it because of the stress that you marked out for a 2. And now she's going to defend against that 2. And she gets a 4. And so the effect of that is a failure, which means that your attack misses. So you're just trying to get it off fast, and and it just kind of flies past her on the other side.
Okay.
And then she just comes like moving at you at this incredibly inhuman speed, this cry that's animal-like, and just kind of descends right on top of Teddy. And she is going to attack him now. And you have an opportunity to defend with force, or if you want to jump out of the way, haste, or if you want to, it just depends on how you want to defend. But this is the roll that she makes. She gets a fate total of 1.
Okay, I'm going to use haste and try to get out of the way. Oh, that didn't happen.
Okay, so you have an ability. If you have any aspects that you think will help you here, you have an ability to get those 2 points back to create a tie roll, but you have to spend a fate point to use that aspect.
Yeah, none of my aspects really would apply here.
All right, so you're going to take 2 more stress.
Okay.
And now anybody on your side can go, Colton, John, or I don't know if we've got Becca back or not. I see her there, but I'm not sure whether she can hear us.
Okay. Well, I go ahead and how long does it take me to pull the rifle out of the case?
You've got, your turn. You've got chance to use pull the rifle out and use it if you want to.
Okay.
You've certainly had plenty of.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because, it's a matter of you got to set the case down, unlatch it, and pull the gun, chamber load, type thing. So.
Yeah. So you'll have to use haste for your action probably.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So basically, while the Black Court Vampire was focused on Teddy, Colton will actually pull out his rifle and chamber in one of the special ammunition rounds that he's got.
Okay.
And will basically take aim and try to do and I'm gonna call it a headshot on this.
Okay.
So
All
what do
right.
I need to do?
So now you're going to go ahead and you're going to make a haste roll.
Okay.
And she's going to try to dodge the shot again. But she does not. She takes 1 stress. And so in the meantime, while she's been approaching you from the front, the thing that none of you have noticed is that there's another one that kind of leaps at you from back behind. Where's Colton located?
Well, she was originally here, and I know that Teddy was basically backing up, so Colton was basically behind Teddy, so he was kind of back over here, I think.
Okay. So yeah, so just kind of act from behind you. This other one jumps at Colton and is just going to make another attack on Colton. And then you can defend. You can tell me how you want to defend.
Okay. Well, basically, if they attack, I'm going to basically swing around and try to like hit them with the butt of the gun.
Okay, so use your force aspect for that. All right, so you get a 4, and so again, it kind of gets right next to you and thwack right in the head, kind of gets knocked back. And now we get another player turn. We've still got Echo and John have yet to go.
Okay. I forget what I can do. And I'm so used to the Dungeons and Dragons format. I'm just like, where are my weapons and my bag?
Yeah, so think of this as a lot more free-flowing. Just describe what you want to do, and you can try to attach that to one of your aspects. And then you're going to make a roll on that aspect once you've done that. And I'm sorry, try to attach it to one of your approaches, flare, focus, so forth and so on. And then then you can also use your aspects to power that more if you want to improve the results of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, since I guess my character is just standing here, I will attack this guy.
Okay.
And I'm so used to being told what to do. I guess I'm trying to think of the kind of spell that I could use on him. Maybe like a fire spell, like what Jason.
You can do that, but you're going to have to cross out one of your changeling.
Yeah. Well,
to call on the Fey magic, you're going to have to cross out one of your changeling boxes.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I'll just do that.
Okay.
Just make sure you don't
up
roast
against
Colton in there too.
Vampires, and it wouldn't be the worst thing to become a Fae, so it's fine.
So, if I can jump in real quick, Matt, is this something where I could use my other aspect? I'm alone, but they don't have to be, where I could kind of see what Echo is getting ready to do and could trigger off an attack in conjunction with her, kind of like, supporting her. That aspect was built on, I always thought I had to walk alone, abusive family left them, but then all my homeless friends, they didn't have to be alone because they had me there.
Okay.
So is that kind of like how those aspects work?
You could certainly if you had not already taken your turn this round, then that would certainly be okay if you wanted to provide support and make a supporting roll by triggering one of your aspects. But since you've already taken your turn this round, you could think about it next round though.
Right, but I just trying to understand how the aspects work and how they come into play in this. So, all right, cool.
Yeah, you spend a fate point, you trigger an aspect, and then by spending that fate point and triggering that aspect, you get a +2 to whatever result. And you can spend those after you see what your result is on your die roll.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and for the rest of this scene now, you can use Fey Power if you want to.
Yeah, all right. So what do I roll to do a fire attack? Do I just get to choose?
Okay, so in this game, it has to do with how you're going about it. So normally it's going to be a focus or a force attack.
Okay, I'm going to say it's a force attack. Like I'm really pushing it. Like.
Okay.
Also, because that's my better trait.
Okay.
Or approach, I'm sorry. 3.
All right, so she's going to try to jump out of the way. Does not jump out of the way.
Yay!
And so she takes 3 shifts of damage. She just kind of gets hit as she gets hit by Colton, and then she gets hit in the face by Echo's attack. And I forgot to mention this: you function at the supernatural level when you're using your Fey powers. So you actually, I should have made you choose beforehand whether you were going to do +1 to hit or +2 to the damage. So we're just going to do +1 to hit right now. Since I should have told you had that choice. So
okay.
That's actually going to be 4 shifts of damage.
Here. I feel alone in the not glasses arena, so I'm gonna put these on.
Okay.
Because
right,
everyone's wearing glasses.
So Echo just hits her in the face with about 4 shifts worth of Summer Court magic. But that's your second box toward becoming transforming into a Fey. So just be aware of that.
It's
okay.
All right.
So it's John's turn now.
So I'll just brace myself in the back of the truck, and I'm going to shoot that one. It's the one in front of, Jason's character. Sorry.
Okay. That's the one that is. You're talking about this one up here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I tried to click there, but I guess it doesn't do that for me. So, roll focus. Oh, look at that. Good.
Ooh, good roll.
4. Okay.
I would assume focus, right? Because I'm not in combat, so I can take my time and really get a good aim. And
yeah, you're not mixed up in the middle of it. So that's a tie. And actually, here's what happens when you have a tie. You don't do any damage, but you gain something called a boost. So on your next turn, you'll get a +2 to some kind of an action. So just keep that in mind. That boost gives you a +2.
Cool.
Okay, so now we're going to start a new round. And this vampire that kind of got knocked back by Colton is now going to jump down toward Echo. And Echo is doesn't really know what she's charging toward with this magic here, because she's the young changeling in a big world. I'm going to actually do something called, probably going to do something called a compel. Let's go ahead and attack her first. All right, so I'm going to compel her aspect, young changeling in a big world. That means that Echo gets an extra fate point. So you can add your fate point 3 to 4.
Where is that?
So the green, you could do it on your token. You could change the green thing above your token. Or you could go into your character sheet and show just for it says fate points down in the lower left corner, increase that to 4.
Yes.
Okay, that's called compelling an aspect. But now her result, the Black Court Vampire's result is now +2. So it's a 2 total instead of a 0.
Okay.
Now that she's compelled that aspect.
What
Does
do I?
can I just quick in the old system? Becca could have said, "No, I don't want that fate."
Yeah, she could say that actually. I don't want that fate, and then I don't get that advantage. But you usually want the fate point.
I do
Yeah,
want.
I'm just saying, if you don't want to have that the vampire to have that +2, you could say, "No, I'm not going to take the compel and not take the fate." And then the GM in the old system used to be able to say, "Well, how about 2 fate?" And at that point, everyone's going to take it.
I don't know. I don't know what's better. I'm still adjusting to this
Well, not to confuse it. Take the fate. It is much better. Like, it's always better to have the fate.
Yeah, I'll just take the fate.
Okay, so there's a 2 result, so now you're going to roll. How do you want to try to avoid this attack?
Hate. Definitely. I want to try and dodge it.
So you're going to use haste. If you're trying to jump out of the way, you're going to use haste.
Yes.
So go ahead and make a haste roll. So you're going to take 1 stress.
Okay.
All right. And now we are back to one of the players' turns. We're in round 2 now.
So I'll just reload and focus and shoot the one in front of Jason's vampire, the first vampire.
This one again. Okay.
Yeah, but I have my +2 to that. Do I just roll and we're going to add the +2 naturally?
Yeah, we'll have to add the +2 in after you roll. There's no way to get it otherwise. So that's a 4 result. Oh. So you think you've got it completely lined up. This is going to be the kill shot. And no, it still jumps out of the way somehow or the other. And you miss.
I have a bad shooting day.
All right. So now this second vampire is going to go after Jason's character, Teddy. This time just trying to kind of knock him down to the ground and then just start pummeling him. And she gets a 4 result. Let's see what Teddy's aspects are here. Yeah, so she's trying to kind of push him and get him out of kind of the melee with the rest of everybody else to off to the side. So I'm going to offer a compel to Teddy on this. She'll take a +2, make it a total 6. And you can have a fate point. Or you can reject it. You can always reject the offer on the compel.
So if she compels me, then I'm going to end up out of melee range. But I get a fate point. Okay, I'll accept that.
Well, you're getting separated from the rest of the group as she kind of pushes you away to the side.
Right. Okay.
All right, so you can defend now. You can tell me how you want to defend against that attack. She may not be successful.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
That was my Alexa. I don't know why she was talking to me, but anyway.
I am going to... I'm going to use haste again to try to just, dodge out of the way.
Okay. All right, so that's a 2 against a 6.
Not even close.
You can spend a fate point and try to trigger any aspect on your sheet, or in the setting, which would include dark corners, not a soul in sight. If you want to spend a fate point to try to trigger it.
No, I'm gonna let that one ride for now.
Okay, so you're going to take 4 more stress.
Ooh, wait, I've only got 3 left.
So you've got another option here, which is that you can cross out in peril, and in peril will get rid of. I'm trying to remember how many it gets rid of.
4.
Gets rid of 4. You could eliminate all 4 of those by crossing out in peril, but you're also going to have to take on an aspect that represents a wound.
I'm gonna burn the fate point instead.
Okay.
And you said that there are scenario aspects as well, dark corners.
Yeah. So like you could say, I'm going to try to kind of use the darkness to help make it difficult for it to tackle me. You know, I'm going to slip out. There's like it's really dark over in this area over here, and as it's launching its attack at me, I'm going to kind of retreat into that area where it'll have more trouble spotting me.
Okay.
All right. So you spend a fate point, and then you cross out 2 stress instead.
Okay.
You improved your defense by 2 points.
Okay.
No, you suffer 2 more stress is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Because what you did is you improved it to a 2 from a 2 versus a 6 to a 4 versus a 6.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, you always take stress based on the difference in the roll that they make versus yours. It's called shifts. How many shifts did they get? Okay.
Understood.
All right, so we've got another. We've got players now. Get 3. I think all 3 of you get to go now. That are left.
Well, I guess I'll go. Is this the layout of like where everybody is, like on the screen?
Yeah, roughly. This is the relationship between everybody right now.
Okay, cool. I think after seeing, I think I'm going to attack this guy.
Okay, so you're going to run over and attack the one that's trying to corner Teddy off on the other side.
Yeah, after seeing Teddy.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
So I guess, I kind of just want to get it kind of pushed away. So how far away is it from like the nearest object that it could, like large object that could do, like it could hit if I were to.
There's a building over here that's several feet away, but you could try using some kind of a force attack. You can still use your fairy powers until the end of the scene.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do kind of like a force. I don't know. I don't want to make this too Star Warsy.
Yeah.
But like I want to use the force to push him into the building. Or like wind. I'll say it's wind. That makes it a little bit more magic-y. But yeah, I want to do kind of a wind spell to make it fly the building and kind of some distance.
So what you're trying to do is you're not doing an attack, but you're trying to create an advantage. In this case, this is called creating an advantage. And what we're going to do is we're going to put an aspect on that vampire that is knocked against the building.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. So
yeah. So go ahead and make a. Do you want? Okay. So now, do you want a +1 right now because you're operating at a different scale than everybody else? You can have a
Right.
+1 now, or if you're successful, you can get a +2 after you're successful.
I'm going to say I want the +1 now.
Okay, so you're going to roll on probably your force, and you're going to add +1 to it.
Okay, that sounds good.
So that's a 2.
Yeah, that's a 2.
Okay, and so it can't really run away from this attack, so it's just kind of having to take it. All right. So a 2 versus a 3, so you're not successful. Like, it's able to kind of stand up against the wind in spite of everything.
All right.
Matt, do I still have my action left?
Yes, you do. I think you've still got your action for this turn.
Then I want to use that aspect. I'm alone, but they don't have to be. And I want to piggyback on Becca's attack. And since she's hit him with wind, I want to throw fire into the mix and create, whatever I can
Okay.
do
So
to.
you're trying to assist her in the process.
Yes.
Okay. So you can go ahead and make a focus if you want to. And then if you spend your fate point to trigger the aspect, you can increase that to about a 5.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And so
Where do I keep track of how many fate points I have?
it's down in the lower left-hand corner of your character sheet.
Right, that says 0. And I got the 1 from accepting that
Yeah.
one previously, but like how many do I start off with?
You started off probably with 3. So then you accepted 1 to 4, and then you spin it. So this would take you down to 2.
Okay.
And so yeah, with your assistance, this vamp just kind of gets knocked back, and she's knocked down. And I'm going to attach this aspect to her, stunned against the wall.
Okay.
Now, the nice thing about this is that because of the level of success that the two of you had working together on this, not only do you get a free invoke on that stunned against the wall, you don't have to spend a fate point, but because you succeeded with style, you turn this around and succeeded with style, you actually, well, no, you didn't succeed with style, so no, you just get a free invoke now with the stunned against the wall. So you don't have to spend a fate point, and you can invoke that to get a +2 bonus.
Now who
you
gets
want
to
to.
use that?
Yeah,
Everyone.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
So we all get a +2 bonus.
Well, whoever invokes it next is going to get that +2 bonus.
Excellent.
And then
Wouldn't
after,
it be until till the vampire stands up? Like it's stunned until it's not stunned, isn't it?
right.
So if we all it's kicking it when it's down, right? If it stays down, we can all kick it.
Right.
So,
Right.
question: when I shot this one over here, what happened?
It took damage. It's now taken 4 stress. It's got 6 stress, and it's taken 4 stress.
Okay, and John's character, or Paul's character, John.
Right.
Which one are you aiming at? Or
That was the stunned one was what I was aiming at.
say what?
The stunned one, the one against the wall now.
Oh, okay.
I figured you guys were really tightly packed around the other one. I didn't want to shoot into a crowd.
So, GM, I have a question.
Okay.
Right now, I have a basically I'm a sniper, so I have a sniper rifle, but there would have been other weapons I would have carried. Do I have to declare those ahead of time or have them on my sheet, or is it just something that, yes, it's standard, I'm either carrying a knife or I'm carrying, like a handgun, actually? how does that work?
Generally speaking, you don't. I mean, if it's stuff that you think your character would ordinarily have on him in a situation like this, especially where he knows he's walking into trouble, then
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, because he's, you've got that disgraced ex-federal officer. He's got the training. He's got wilderness survival and all that. He doesn't go in without multiples.
Right.
So basically, for my round, I would like to like reach inside my coat and actually pull out a knife
Okay.
and try to take a swipe at this one over here.
Okay. So you're gonna use a force attack against it.
Okay. Do, do, do.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Excellent roll.
And so it's going to try to jump out of the way, but it can't. And so you just like stab it right through the neck, and it kind of struggles there for a second, and then just kind of the life kind of vanishes out of it, and it's just lying there on the sidewalk.
Okay. I don't know if that requires me to state an action. I just literally I'm going to follow it down and try to cut its head off.
Okay. All right. So you can be working on that.
Make sure it's dead. Say what? Don't want this thing coming back to life later.
So you can be working on that in the meantime.
Okay.
And so this vampire over here in this corner is kind of trying to struggle to get up, and it kind of looks at all of you, and it wants to retreat back into the building. So we've reached a point now where the vampire is basically offering you something that's called kind of a truce. In other words, we'll end this right here by walking away, and you can either take it up on it or not. And I'm trying to remember what the consequences of that are. I'm working on that right now. So you may want to talk about, do you want to try to take it out, or you want to let it go if it's offering to go and not fight you anymore?
I'm all for ending it right now.
Yeah. John
Maybe
just
not in the way it
is covering the
wants.
bases right now.
I'm a little worried if we let it go, it might come back to bite us later on.
It's a black court. We can't possibly trust it. I think we turn it into a pile of dust here on the ground.
I agree. It wouldn't be a good idea to keep it living.
Yeah, I'll take another pot shot at it. Really, that's what.
Okay. So anybody that wants can have the free invoke on it. I mean, you can go ahead and take the pot shot first. Who's going to go first?
I will. Done.
Okay.
I'm shooting it. Here goes. Yeah, big old one.
You can take the free invoke because it's stunned against the wall if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
You can also spend another fate point if you want to increase it by another 2 by invoking the same thing. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's bump it up a whole bunch there. Let's take both of those.
Okay.
I'll burn a fate point.
So you've got a 5 total now.
So one fate point left.
Okay,
right.
So you've done another 3 points, and you've also got a boost because you got 3 shifts. You also get a boost from succeeding with style.
Cool.
Oh, you have to give up one of the shifts if you want to succeed with style. But so you can either do 3 or 2 damage to it, and it's either 3 damage or 2 plus a boost.
I'm gonna do 2 and keep the boost.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Two was.
All right. So the vampire, instead of attacking any of you, it runs into this building that's back behind you, and it kind of vanishes. But we've still got 2 more turns, or we've got 3 more of you that still get to go now.
All right.
I start yelling, "Get after it!"
Yeah. I start to run towards it, and are there like broken windows that I could kind of fire at it from?
Yeah, you can go through you can jump through the window, or you've got a line of sight to it back in the room if you want to try to attack it with something.
I holler out, "Wait, Echo. Let's try and burn the building down around it."
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh,
That's so
but
smart.
that's where we're supposed to go.
That's
Oh yeah.
that kind of like look up and go, we were supposed to meet somebody here. Where are they?
I feel like if they were here, they would have already come out. A white council is not going to stand around while 2 black court are there. But I guess we can go into the building and see if they're in there injured.
Okay. Well,
Damn, I wanted
Colton
to burn the building
basically
down.
gets done cutting this thing's head off and like wipes his knife off on their coat, and then using tactics that do I need to invoke anything? Because I'm basically going to just use tactics that I've learned being a federal officer on how to basically go in through there correctly without making yourself a big target.
Okay. So is this like a defensive more than an offensive thing? In other words, are you trying to place an aspect on yourself that says secure position, say, or are you trying to place an aspect on the vampire that says puts it in a vulnerable place?
The latter.
Okay. So we'll call it we'll put an aspect on Colton that's called an ideal angle.
Okay.
And you're going to try to create an advantage here. But it's not going to be versus the vampire. It's just going to be based on your training, and we'll make it a 2 difficulty. It's something it's not all that hard. So yeah, go ahead and roll for what intellect would be appropriate in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Probably haste might be appropriate. Either one of those.
Let's see here. Sorry, I got distracted by the cat.
That's all right.
Okay, that was intellect.
Okay. And then you can trigger like your federal law enforcement training if you want to spend a fate to get that to 5, or you can just leave it. That's enough to give you a success.
Okay. Let's just leave it at that for right now.
Okay. So you've now got an aspect called perfect angle.
Now, are these aspects like temporary, or are they something that we have later?
It's only going to exist as long as it makes sense in the story for it to exist. So at some point that vampire may run and you won't have that angle again. But right now you've just got it lined up in your sights, and so you're going to get that free invoke, that +2 when you attack it. Okay, who's next?
Guess I'll go next and kind of fire some fire at the guy.
Okay. So you're going to shoot like through the window or something?
Yeah, through the window.
Okay.
Try not to bring the building down.
Okay.
But it's whatever.
You want the +1 in advance, or you want the +2 at the end?
I I want the +2 at the end.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use force for this, and it's 1.
Yep.
Oh well, it wouldn't have made a difference.
So yeah, it manages to evade you pretty readily.
Okay.
Just in too big of a hurry, being too impulsive.
Yeah.
And I think we still have Teddy on this turn, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been, trying to think. I want to enter the building and I want to generate just a light source. Kind of, take away all the shadows that this thing could try to hide inside the building.
Okay. All right. So Teddy is going to come like through a doorway and just create this tremendous amount of light in there. So yeah, go ahead and make a focus check. You don't need to, we'll just make it difficulty 2. So 3 is enough. Okay. So now we're going to add an aspect to the room, which is full light. Which that's an aspect, even though it's added to the room, you could spend a fate point on it and use it against the vampire because it's not going to like being in that light at all. All right, so we're getting to the top of another turn. It's kind of making its way along the far wall, but that light has just got it kind of holding its hands against its eyes, trying to shield its eyes. It's feeling along the doorway, trying to find some way out. It just kind of desperate to escape, and that's all it can do.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend this fate point. I mean, I've got it, stressed out enough as it is. I think that that should be enough to let somebody else take advantage of that to take it down.
All right, so anybody now can have a turn. We're at the start of another round here.
Okay. I'm going to basically move in, or basically put myself so I'm kind of around a corner.
Okay.
And I'm going to chamber another bullet.
Okay.
And take a shot.
All right. Take a force action. All right, 4. You get the free invoke on perfect angle if you want to make it 6.
Yes.
All right. So you invoke perfect angle. You can also spend a fate point on perfect angle if you want to make it 8.
No, I think at this point in time I'll stick with the 6.
Okay, got a 6. Oh! You get a boost on it, but it avoids the shot.
Oh my god!
That is
so it hits the wall
that's
next
all
to it.
Pluses.
And shatters
It rolled
something.
all pluses on its fate dice.
Lord.
2 fantastic shots.
Okay, but each of you get a turn still.
I think John right now, I can see kind of through windows where it's going, right?
Yes.
Like it's going along there. So maybe John will hop out and head around the building towards this side. Did that click on something, or did that?
Yeah,
take a little...
and you can move your token around if you want to.
Oh, okay, perfect. So John's going to hop down off the truck with his gun and run like this way, trying to cut it off.
Okay, as it's trying to get out. Okay.
I'm going to hit it with another fire blast at the same time. Then once you get done with Paul.
Yeah, I think there's enough magic. I just don't want it. I certainly don't want it getting away.
So you want to put an aspect on it like cut off.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to try to cut it off for sure.
Okay, so make a haste check. Yeah, but it's just too quick for you. You're trying to get around and find a way to corner it, but it's just too quick for you. So we've still got Echo and Teddy that can take turns, I think, in this round.
No,
I think I already.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's all I was saying. I was just saying. I think I already had my turn.
I don't think you went this round, but
yeah, Matt said this is a whole new round.
Oh, yes.
I want to create an aspect of like something like Burn for Me, and just put this whole sheet of fire into that one corner. Is it possible to do like more of a wide spectrum,
So
almost like Burning Hands instead of a laser?
okay, so you're wanting to, like, as a means of trying to cut it off and keep it trapped?
Yes, and
Okay,
give it a sun.
so you're trying to create what's called a scene aspect when you're doing that,
Okay.
which you can do, and we'll set the difficulty for that one at 2 as well, which you can use focus if you want to on that.
Okay. And can I spend a fate point to create that scene aspect, or is that something that's already understood, or how does that work?
No, you're going to make a focus check, and if you can get a 2 on it, you create that aspect.
Yes.
All right, so now I've added those scene aspects for us. Full light and burning corner are added as aspects in the scene in this room. So now there's this massive flame around by the other door, so that it would have to damage itself to go out of that corner. And I think Echo still gets a turn at this point.
Yes,
Pretty
I
sure he
do.
did, yeah.
So he's trapped in a corner and just surrounded by fire, right?
There's fire at the exit, and it's
sorry.
basically cornered. It's got you and your group on one side, and then fire on the other side of it.
Okay, I want to cast a spell that will push it in. I just want to make it.
You want to push it into the fire?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna try to add the aspect of fire to it. Well, we're just gonna call it an attack. We're just gonna call it a force attack, and then you can use burning corner to create more of an effect if you want to. You can trigger that.
Okay, that sounds good. I will do that then. So, do I get to choose like +1 now or +2 later?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go with +1 now.
Okay.
All right. So I use force.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you send this thing tumbling back into the fire, and you can just see it shrieking and screaming as its form slowly kind of dissipates, and its scream kind of fades out over time. And it's gone.
All right. That was my first successful roll.
Yay.
The whole hour and 45 minutes we've been playing. I guess we haven't really been playing, but whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that Lydia made the right call. We obviously work well together.
No, yeah, this is a good team.
Yeah.
I'm going to start looking around to see if our White Council meetup is somewhere in this building.
Okay. Go ahead and make a focus check. Anybody that wants to can make a focus check here.
Okay.
I'm going to stay out here and do a focus check, though, just to make sure nothing's coming out. Nothing
Okay.
else is coming out.
Oh,
And certainly, we've made a lot of noise.
perfect roll
And
right there.
I want to make sure we're
Right?
not
That's a
put
perfect
minus
roll.
1.
6.
I basically trip over my own feet.
Yeah.
Listening. Yep.
Nice roll, Colton.
Colton's looking around, and he kind of wanders into the back part of one of these old storefronts, and he looks out the back window, and he sees out the back window what look like two figures in the darkness in the alley, both of which are lying still on the ground.
That's not good.
Okay, so I'm looking like out through a window over here or something.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly, into the alley.
Okay. Are there any doors or anything that lead back into that area?
Yes, Yes, there's a back door that you can exit from this store. In fact, it's broken. The latch on it isn't even there anymore. It's just
Okay.
long been spray painted over, and
Okay.
you
Well,
know.
basically, what I'll do is I start basically kind of doing uh, like careful walk type thing. You know, like I'm still trying to be careful because you never know when there's going to be something else.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm doing that. I'm actually just putting a regular bullet into the chamber, and I motion to Teddy. I'm like, I see something. Come on, out this way. And I go out through the back door.
I follow Colton out,
Okay.
wand at the ready.
Yeah. So you as you come closer, you see one figure. The figures are about like 6 to 8 feet apart, and one of them is clearly a human of about average height. He has a beard, looks fairly old, and there's this oak staff that's lying right beside him. The other one looks like yet another Black Court vampire.
Okay.
Do we have a name?
Dressed
for
very
our
similar to
council?
the other ones.
Sorry.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
name is Charles Lexington.
Charles Lexington.
Right.
So
I'm going to check the one body for, A, to see if he's breathing, and B, see if he's got identification on him.
Which one is it?
The one by the staff, the one that's obviously not a Black Court.
Okay. Yeah, so you have a look at him, and you immediately recognize him. I mean, you know some of the more prominent council members. This is Charles Lexington.
Any hope that he's still breathing?
All right. Yeah, and so while you're checking him out to see if he's still breathing, you actually hear someone that's kind of standing in the darkness just a little bit beyond you say, don't bother checking, he's dead.
And about that time, I swing around and point my rifle at them and kind of take a crouching stance.
All right. And you see this woman that comes kind of walking out from behind with her hands up, say, hey, I'm on your side. And she's looks like she's kind of dressed in buckskin, and she looks like she's probably another council member. She's got her hands up. She says, I just got here a minute ago, just like you. I didn't know who you were when you came back here.
I kind of say, identify yourself.
Do I recognize her?
She says, yes, my name is Hydia Chuimbo, and you think you might have seen her before. I'm a warden with the White Council.
The hairs on the back of my neck go up.
If I remember correctly from the books, weren't there regional passphrases that all the Grey Wardens were supposed to, or not Grey Wardens, not Dragon Age, that all the Wardens and were supposed to know?
Yeah, I mean, they have systems of passwords and ways of identifying each other.
So we should be able to, query response her to find out if she is actually, because there are creatures out there in the Never Never that can make themselves look like whoever they want. So,
It's true.
Okay, so probably Teddy knows some of this since he's at least an aspiring wizard, if nothing else. And so, yeah, go ahead and make a. This will just be a difficulty 0 intellect check. Yeah. And so Jason is able to kind of exchange some passwords and passphrases with her, and whoever she is, she knows for sure what they are. She seems totally legit.
okay. I relax, put my wand away. All right. So you've already checked out Charles. He's dead. Do you know why we were summoned here? Do you know what he was supposed to be talking with us about? What's going on?
She says, no, that's part of the reason that I'm here. He left his post a few days ago for reasons that he didn't tell anybody what they were. And I followed him here, and the last thing I saw was him getting killed by a group of vampires that have just fled the scene. Did you find any of them out front?
Couple of them. They're done.
Then she looks over at the vampire that's still there, and she says, then there's the problem of him.
Why is it still have some semblance of life left to it?
Yeah, and so you look at it, and you suddenly notice that it's breathing, like it's lying there sleeping.
Now, before we go any further, I want to go get the rest of our team and bring them back here.
Okay.
Keep an eye on him. I'll be right back. And I go out front to get Echo and John.
Okay. I've kind of relaxed my stance as far as holding down on her, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm still certainly carrying my gun.
Yeah, I'm not going to relax too much just because she's white court, and I'm not really sure how legal I am, so.
White council. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So, she says, I can't quite figure out what's going on here. Lexington's obviously dead, and the vampire obviously isn't, but it's also obviously alive and in some kind of inert state.
Well, Lydia from the apothecary shop called all of us and told us to meet here and that we were going to be met by a white council member. We show up. There's 2 black courts out front. We toast them. We get back here. Our white council member we're supposed to be meeting is dead. We have a black court vampire who is actually breathing, which makes no sense. And we have a warden from the council showing up who doesn't know what's going on here either, and we have a white council member who left his post that you were following. So there's the quick rundown, and I'm still just as confused as I was when I walked back here. How is a black court vampire breathing? They don't breathe.
She says, I'm just as confused as you are.
Could it be like a red court when they're turned but they haven't made their first kill, so they're still half and half? Could it be like that? Does black court work that way? I don't know.
She says, I'm not sure either, but I'm even more puzzled about why he is seemingly, what do we want to say, disabled, sleeping, inert, than he is dead. Why didn't Lexington kill him?
Did Lexington take him to that point and then the other 2 finished him off before he could fully kill him? So he's taken enough damage that he's in a vampire coma? I don't know.
Why was he breathing now?
She says, I've never seen anything like this before. How much do you all know about death curses?
I know that I can throw one if I'm at the last stages. That's, I don't know how to actually do it, but I know I can.
Yeah, isn't it like
John's
when a wizard is about to die, they can curse whoever killed them? Like they can kill them also, or
Sorry, I will be right back.
I guess it's all based on how powerful the wizard is. I mean, I could probably curse you to never like chocolate again as I'm on my way out the door. But, Harry Dresden could probably level 3 cities with his death curse.
Who's Harry?
Yeah.
I had a character.
Sure.
I'm a fledgling wizard. What is everyone else here? I mean, are Colt and John pure vanilla humans or what?
I am a pure vanilla human, but I
I
can
know.
actually see basically the arcane, the monsters.
Okay, so you're like Karen Murphy then. All right.
Pretty
I know
much.
you're a changeling, right, Becca?
Yeah, I'm a change from the summer court.
Okay. And what is Paul?
He is, boy, it'd be nice. I guess he'll be back in a second. He is a criminal that smuggles drugs and people across the border, but that kind of got inspired to help people. Well, I'll let you tell it now. You're back.
Okay.
Jason was just asking for kind of a summary of your character.
My character.
Yes.
Sorry. John is a.
I can't
Oh,
hear or see him right
John
now.
on the outside looks like a normal human. He is a normal human.
His little thingy is just
Suburbanite, wife,
Mhm.
kid, dog, white picket fence. He owns a small import business from Mexico, brings in stuff and mostly like touristy crap and sells it around. But that's his outside appearance. His inside is that he is a smuggler and a criminal. That's his mantle. He, smuggles people over the border, light drugs, whatever, that sort of thing. He has a small organization that lets him do that in Mexico. And then here he can do that. He is, yeah.
Are you a vanilla human or
vanilla 100%? He got pulled into this world because Zachariah, am I saying that right, or Zachary?
Zachary
Morris, the warden for the area, saved him from a Red Court attack, and but Zachary was actually watching John because he needed a more mundane way to move people from waypoint to waypoint.
Nice.
And sort of recruited, coerced John into it. But John has found that he likes doing good work. Like he's still a criminal, but he keeps his day side and his night side separate.
Turning more into a Robin Hood now.
Yeah, like if he was robbing people, it'd be Robin Hood. But he's more. I was explaining this to a friend of mine, and they said, although I've never watched the show, the guy from Breaking Bad, like he's a criminal, but there's a reason why. Like for John, it's that he thinks he's doing good. Like he thinks, by bringing people across the border from Mexico, he's bringing them to the better life. And,
Gotcha.
He doesn't see anything wrong with a little marijuana every now and then. And, that sort of thing. He just doesn't, that's how he justifies it to himself.
Gotcha. So two vanilla humans, Colton's ex-military or ex-Fed. You're a smuggler, fledgling wizard, and changeling. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think John would definitely be at this point saying to the warden, we're really exposed out here. Lone Star never really liked doing things out in the open. Maybe we should take this Black Court, vampire and retreat somewhere a little bit more or less exposed.
So Hydia is just kind of still looking at the vampire and kind of back at Charles and then at the vampire again, and She says, I'm going to take care of Charles, and then I'm going to go back and consult with the council. Because I'll tell you what I think happened here. I think that Charles used his death curse on this vampire, and for some reason, he chose not to kill him when he used his death curse. He chose to put him into some kind of sleep or some crazy state. And I think he did it for a reason. So,
crazy thought. Just sorry to interrupt, but what was her name again?
Heidi. I'll spell it for you.
Okay. No idea how to pronounce that.
You can call her Heidi if you want to.
Okay, Heidi. Is there? I don't have any idea if this is possible. Is there any chance that Lone Star that Charles could have used his death curse to supplant the Black Court vampire's psyche with his own soul, psyche, person, whatever, so that rather than dying, he moved himself into the Black Court vampire's body?
She kind of sighs and looks back and forth, and she says, well, that's not unprecedented, but it seems unlikely to me. It seems most likely to me that the vampire is still the vampire. He's just not a threat to anybody right now.
Okay. And it's just a thought. This seems like a really weird situation, and I don't know.
So she kind of looks at you. She says, well, here's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to take care of Charles's body. But I want you all to take this vampire somewhere, keep it safe, guard it with your lives, and I will be back in a few days. To let you know what the council has decided needs to be done with it. But I can't take the risk of trying to travel with it myself right now. I'm going to have to bring somebody here when they can get the people and resources free to come deal with it here. But it's obvious to me Charles had a reason for this. I don't know what it was, and we need to figure out what it was.
Okay.
Is it possible that the vampire knew something and he wants us to be able to interrogate it, but knew that it would be a threat?
Yeah, and she kind of just looks at Echo and doesn't say anything, but kind of looks at Echo like, yeah, maybe.
Well, let's get it out of here. That's the first step.
Who has a safe place? I kind of live in a tent and move around a lot, so my place isn't going to be that secure.
I think I can get us a place. I've got some favors I can call in. Okay. And we'll see what I can do. So I guess I'll invoke my criminal favors stunt.
Okay.
Though this is going to cost hard to get that out there. I'll invoke it for 3 and get a secured area.
Okay. So mechanically,
access to a secured or restricted area that offer additional benefits. I don't know. Can I just call a simple favor in and just like go to a criminal safe house sort of deal?
So let me look at, so mechanically, yeah, you said 3. Is there a way to use 3 to get a particular kind of favor?
Well, 3, so for 1, gives me a minor NPC under GM control with a +2 needed illegal skill set. Okay. 2 boxes give me 2 minor NPCs for a significant piece of illegal gear. Stolen car, guns, drugs, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
3 grants me access to a secure or restricted area. Okay. So that'd be as if I'm breaking into a place.
Okay. So yeah, so to get a... So if you're looking for... I think this is probably a 3 cost favor then. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere big that's going to be secure and hidden from everything. So I'll invoke my 3 costs and get on the phone and start making a few calls to people I know.
Okay.
and get us a place where we can store this vampire.
Meanwhile, I go ahead and leave and go get my case and then start policing Brass.
And transportation, I don't have a car. How do y'all?
Well, we'll throw it in the back of the truck, like cordwood.
All right.
Mhm.
I need a quick bathroom break. I have to go to Little L's room. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take a quick break too. I'll be right
All right.
back.
So let's go ahead and take a break. I'll turn our stream off while we're on a break, and then we'll come back in about like 3-5 minutes, something like that.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll grab a snack.
And so, do you all want to head off to John's warehouse now?
Mhm.
I think
Okay.
it's best with this vampire anomaly laying here.
Okay.
So I think we
Can I
we
make a thing real quick? So we have a dead body inside. We have a dead body outside of a Black Court vampire. She took the dead warden,
Right.
and we took the Black Court vampire that's breathing. So does anything happen to these Black Court vampire bodies once they're dead, or do they just lay there?
don't they react similar to like Bram Stoker type? Like that was the whole point of the Black Court, is Bram Stoker exposed all their secrets.
Yeah. So if that's the case, that's the extent that I know about that. But if that's the case, then they're going to disintegrate
Sunlight.
in the sunlight.
Okay, but we don't want to just leave this one laying around. So
Yeah.
especially the one outside.
Yeah, you've
We
got
can-
you've got one that has been incinerated beyond recognition.
Okay.
So you don't need to worry about
So-
that one.
Well, we could still take this one out into the sunlight so that, you know,
that's-
the burned remains will still go poof in the sunlight.
Are we sure that there's like there's been no other people living in this building? We haven't seen any evidence of squatters or anything like that,
No.
correct? Okay.
I mean,
So
well,
basically,
yes, you have, but not of any that are currently there.
okay.
Right. In other words, like the windows and the doors are busted, and it looks like the kind of place
Right.
where people might go and do drugs or something. But
Okay, so basically, what I'll do-
tonight you have not seen anyone.
okay, so basically tonight, I'm going to basically make sure everybody's loaded up, and then I'm going to go over and grab the severed head and the body, and I'm going to drag it through the door that we had gone through.
Okay.
And then I kind of look over at Teddy and go, "You have the ability to make fire, right?
Yes.
Would you be would you do the honors of burning this thing down, or at least
I w-
starting the fire?
I would be happy to. Wait, the whole building or just the
The
bodies?
whole building. That way we don't have a place where they do, we have the drug users and stuff like that. So,
Okay. I pull my wand back out and, trigger a Harry Dresden-esque fuego. I have to come up with my own word, though. I will not copyright infringe upon Mr. Dresden.
Okay. Yeah, so what you're performing now is something called ritual magic, which has its own set of rules. And one of the rules is that if you're doing something simple and you've got plenty of time to do it, you don't actually have to follow any rules. It just happens, assuming you've got the right abilities. And so that's the way we're going to treat this particular form. So a few minutes later, you're all standing there while the building starts to burn.
Is
Well,
this the
basically
Chapter 9 So Mote It Be ritual magic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
basically it was as soon as he had a fire going, I'm going to be like booking to jump into the truck, and so that we can take off before anybody else notices that the building is on fire, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
So that we're not
John.
around.
John wants to get out of here as soon as the thing lights up because he doesn't want to be around when the fire trucks arrive.
Right.
Okay.
That was pretty much my plan.
All right, so you all managed to take off and leave the building burning behind you, and let's try to create this warehouse now. That's John's warehouse, and I'm going to get you to tell me something. You've spent some resources on it, so you're definitely going to have an opportunity to describe for us what it looks like.
So let's go with it's a 2-story warehouse. There's a front sort of. I can draw this, can't I?
Yeah, or I can draw it while you're, because what we're going to
Okay.
do is we're going to kind of create a basic layout, and then we're going to attach some aspects to it, some scene aspects
Sweet.
to it.
The Scooby Fortress. Here we go. So, it's a 2-story building.
Okay.
The bottom floor will be the majority of the warehouse space, although there'll be, if someone took a really good look at it, the warehouse space probably has there's probably maybe a fake wall along one of the short sides.
Okay.
So like you go in and there's a lot of warehouse space, but then there's a chunk of, like, if you were outside the building and you maybe 5 feet or 5 or 6 feet less warehouse space on the inside than on the outside.
Okay.
And that's kind of where John hides the illegal stuff. And then a stairwell leading up to the top floor where there's, office space, John's office, a reception area. Not a lot of space. Look like, John and receptionist, maybe a couple of sales guys whose job are to, maybe that's the total sum of the office space upstairs. But I'm going to go hog wild with the 3. John's been working with Zachary for a while, and like his home, it's, the windows are barred, the doors are, reinforced. He's, maybe Lone Star has told him about thresholds, and so he's he knows he doesn't have a threshold with his office, so he's certainly tried to barricade it and protect it the best he can. So, like, heavy duty bars on the windows, a good security door. The stairwell is very open from the top. You know what I mean? So, like, someone up at the top floor can defend the top floor fairly well.
Okay, so I'm going to add well-secured windows and doors. And then the office space, defensible. Yeah,
and maybe in Graham's office, there's a hatch to the roof, just so he can, in the insane, like, if he had to, he could get up to the roof to get out as well.
Okay.
And there's, and it's a warehouse, so like you at the bottom floor, there's a big service door as well for the truck to roll up to. But that's well secured, as secured as you can make that sort of thing, right?
Right. Okay.
He's in the last year he's seen, when you've gone through the way and you've seen pony-sized spiders, you tend to take a different view of security measures than normal mortal would.
So what do you think is outside it, like at the entrance? What's the entrance like?
I think it's in a warehouse district, but John has definitely tried to keep the parking lot on that defensive kind of side to it. So, like, he's had cement barriers put up everywhere except the driveway into the parking lot.
Okay.
And he tried, like, in such a way not to look like he's trying to fortify it, but it's well lit, the parking lot.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Like, he's trying to, like, he knows his home is pretty well secured. He's got a nice threshold, that sort of thing. But he certainly wants the warehouse just as reinforced. Maybe Zachary has had to use it. Zachary has tried to use it to host wardens too, or something along those lines.
All right, we've run into an issue with Becca. I'm going to hit my reconnect, see if that helps. I'm having problems with Becca and, in fact, I'm having problems with everybody but Jason right now.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just.
All right, I got everybody now. Becca, are you there?
Sorry, I was eating
May
earlier.
have lost Becca.
Did we lose everybody?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I think Becca's the only one we're having problems with right now.
Well, both Colton and
But Jason and Paul and Heather are all good for me right now. So
I've lost Heather and Jason though.
Yeah, since I got my system fixed, I've had no problems. I have noticed that Becca seems to have a lot where her video has been freezing.
Oh, Dad, can you see me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I have lost Paul and Jason now.
Well, this is the most problems I've had since they've upgraded the Roll20 stuff by a long shot. I don't know
Well,
why.
they upgraded it, and all of a sudden, Chrome wasn't compatible with half of the audio video.
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I got like a server
For a while
connection
until they
error
got that
thing a few
fixed,
minutes ago,
and
but it went away and
it's been a
everything
mess.
worked okay for a minute.
Yeah. So, can you try reconnecting, Becca?
Yeah.
I see her.
Oh, there's everyone.
I sort of have Becca now.
Yeah, her video's bad. I'm wondering if she just got some bad internet back in that part of the house.
Are you on Wi-Fi back
But I've
there?
also lost
Yeah.
Heather and Jason.
Ah,
You're fine. Like I don't know. Like it's like.
is there like a lot of
Christopher for you.
concrete or steel in your house?
Yeah, there's some concrete. Sometimes there's problems getting Wi-Fi back in that part of the house.
How old is the house?
30, 40 years old.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could get just like an access point or a repeater
Yep.
to boost signal from back there.
We have a
Probably the
repeat.
cheapest way.
We have a repeater in there, but I don't think she's hooked into it. So, anyway, we'll work on it. Looks like she's trying to reconnect again.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
I was connected to the wrong Wi-Fi. You saying that. We have an extender over here, and I was connected to the normal one that's super weak when I'm back here.
So you're just talking about the repeater. We were just talking about that, staying connected to the repeater. Yeah.
Yes, okay. We're all good now.
Except I didn't even know you connected to that.
No, yeah, I connect to whatever one is plugged in back
Yeah.
here. Well,
Yeah.
and my screen got fixed. Like, it's not all fuzzy anymore.
Good.
So,
Okay, so we've got the warehouse drawn up now.
Did we lose Paul though?
No, I've still got him.
He's got a black
I don't
screen
have
for me.
Colton or
that
Heather
was
or
happening
Jason
with
still.
me, too.
And there's a number 2 above his what's cards in hand. Interesting.
Yeah, somehow he was messing around with a deck of cards.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Now that's all right. I think there's a way to get rid of those. Let's see here. I can't remember how to do it though. All right. Well,
Sorry, do you want me to reconnect?
no, I can hear you now. Can everybody hear Paul?
I
Nope.
can grab. Oh, okay. Jason cannot hear.
And neither can
Yeah.
Heather.
And I've lost, like I say, I've lost Heather. And
Okay,
Jason.
Heather, can you see him?
I can
Nope.
try reconnecting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try
see, I've got it.
reconnecting.
Now Heather just blinked out and came back, but Paul's been
Well, I
black
was
for a while
reconnecting.
now.
Now
All right,
see
now I
Paul.
can see his avatar.
Paul, say something.
No video.
Hello?
I can't hear him.
Nope.
Yeah, Paul's gone.
He's gone. Oh no.
Gone. You didn't do enough to save him.
Hmm.
For a while there, we had a couple of guys that couldn't connect into Roll20 audio videos, so we use Skype for a while, and then we end up using Discord.
Yeah,
There we go.
when it was not working, I was using Discord a lot, and you know, if we need to, we can switch over to Discord next session. But I sure do prefer, like, I prefer having video.
Yes.
I think it adds so much more to the game when you're able to see all the other players versus, you know, just doing audio. But
Yeah, I agree with you.
we've really
That's why we use Skype, because then we could still have video with it too.
right.
Oh, Discord has video now.
Yeah, I'm back. I
Yeah.
can hear you guys, see you guys.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
and see you as well.
Perfect.
I think my problem was I was being too quick, and I wasn't letting it refresh completely.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and place everybody in here, but I really think it's 4:30 Central now. I think we've reached a pretty good stopping point for today.
Okay.
So let's. I'm going to reset us for April. Everybody want to come back and do this again in April?
Yes.
Sure.
I would love to do this more than once a month, but I've got so many other commitments in real life and in games that I can't do it more than that. So we'll shoot for this. I'll shoot for either the 7th or the oh no, the 7th is not good for Heather. The
Right,
first
I will-
Saturdays, right? So I'll
Right.
set the next one for April 14th tentatively.
I'm
And
free that day.
The only reason
Yeah.
that I wouldn't be able to do a Saturday on the weekends in April right now is because we're trying to find weekends we can go up to the fort and actually put a porch on the store that we run.
okay.
So since it's not being hired out to do and it's all volunteers, it's like herding cats.
Yeah.
Plus the weather has to cooperate too, so
But
it's kind of a play by ear. But if I'm here, I'll play.
But the 7th is out for sure because you do your reenactments
Right.
on the first
Right,
Saturdays.
that is actually a meeting, so
Okay.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
good on the 14th.
Okay. I'm going to set us for the 14th then. We'll just pick up the story right here where we left off. And
Okay.
2 p.m. Central.